I thought I'd make a brief video about these little tractors' limitations. While they're great, fantastic value in fact, far more capable than most people give them credit for. I won't go further into that, but I will explain a problem they have, and that I'll demonstrate near the end, is when I clutch the tractor, its hydraulic systems pump and that PTO, which you might consider using to propel a snowblower, finishing mower, a bush hog, something like that, it interrupts the power to both systems. As a snowblower tractor, no. They just don't have enough power to be worth it. You may as well go buy a decent sized walk behind. Bush hogs and flail mowers, finishing mowers, yes. Size limitations, and you have to have a one-way clutch on that PTO shaft, which is affordable but is another expense and is absolutely mandatory, or else the centrifugal force of the mass of the mower blades will propel the tractor, and you can get yourself into trouble without that one-way, or often called slipper clutch. A thing I always do on these little tractors is I put a toggle switch rather than a key. That way, if Kyra or somebody's kids or grandkids are operating it out in the field, say over there, if they were to get into a bit of pedal panic, get themselves into something, they can always just hit the toggle and shut the wee beastie off. So we'll start the tractor up and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so the hydraulics don't lift until PTO is the same. When I clutch, it stops. The hydraulics slowly begin to collapse. I'll set that back down intentionally. Now, on the more current tractors, this problem is eliminated. More advanced hydraulics and often a two-stage clutch. You can clutch, shift gears, and yet it continues to propel the hydraulics and the PTO. They're not very good as a loader tractor either, for the same reason. The hydraulics get interrupted by the clutch, and the original pump system in these tractors was not made with a loader in mind. It doesn't have the volume or flow rates really, so their loaders can be really slow. Although there is an option, a hydraulic pump can be attached to the front of the crankshaft out here, and that would keep the hydraulics live for the loader. But they have no power steering, so with a good load on the loader, kind of got to be in motion to change direction. I wouldn't discourage anyone from buying a little end tractor that already had a loader on it, but I don't think I'd really give much consideration to the expense of going and procuring everything I need and the time and effort to put a loader onto it. But all that said, I see a lot of guys come up, no offense meant to anyone, but what we often refer to as idiots. They buy a 5 or a 10 acre property and then they go and buy a $30,000 subcompact Kubota. Well, that's nice. I'd like to have one of those too, but truth of the matter is this little tractor will drag it across the yard kicking and screaming, and I can go buy 2 furrow plows, discs, harrows, and an assortment of other things. I'll just say implements for basically scrap value at an auction or something. They do work fantastically to plow snow with, although that too fast reverse issue is a problem. But, well, that's Annie's limitations, food for thought.